Judd, Zulgad, Andrew, Krammer, 1500ESPN.com. Thanks for visiting the website. Andrew, we're shooting this on Saturday afternoon after the Vikings played the Buffalo Bills in a preseason game, a loss for the Vikings on Friday night. The score does not matter. The play of some of the groups certainly does. Let's start off with the first team offense. I'll be kind, Christian Ponder and company, lack of chemistry. How does that sound?
Yeah, that's one way to put it. They really didn't fire on any cylinder, not just one or the other. They had 4 first downs on 5 drives. If you were to hear that your starting quarterback was going to be playing 5 drives before the game started,
right,
you would assume he's going to throw for more than 50 yards, throw more than 4 first downs, and that was all on one drive, and that was the drive that actually got to the Buffalo 9-yard line, and they still could only get a field goal out of that. So it really didn't look well on any front.
So how do we weigh this? Because everyone's going to, or a faction of people are going to want to blame Ponder and go into a blind panic about this. Kyle Rudolph dropped a 3rd down pass that would have been a 1st down. That was not a great throw, but he's got to make the catch. John Sullivan, after a quick change turnover, snaps the ball over Christian Ponder's head. There were mistakes that go above and beyond Ponder. There's going to be people that say it's preseason, back off on Ponder. There's going to be other people who want him benched right now. As you weigh this, having watched him in practices throughout training camp, how do you sort of assess maybe blame here without going overboard?
Well, I don't think you can go too overboard because, like you had said, it wasn't just Ponder's fault. His receivers weren't necessarily doing him any favors, and neither were his offensive line. He did get sacked 3 times in the 5 drives. Well, the 4th one would have been the tackle for the loss from John Sullivan's botched snap that he had to run back and get and had no shot of recovering. So on top of that, there just wasn't much else helping Ponder out there. You got to just wait and see. Coach Leslie Frazier actually talked about before this game was even played, he tried to kind of quell any excitement or any disappointment that came from this by saying, you know what, we might see mistakes and then we have to work on that. And so week 3, hopefully they play the whole first half so we can actually see what they can do.
Right. Here's my problem with this. Adrian Peterson hasn't played in the preseason yet. I applaud that. He shouldn't play. Sounds like he's going to get a couple snaps a week from Sunday at San Francisco. That's fine. Adrian Peterson can come in and save the day. What I want to see is Ponder be in sync in the passing game, just a little bit even with Greg Jennings, be in sync with his receivers. That's not happening. So can Adrian Peterson save this offense? Absolutely. He probably can. That's not what I want, though. What I want to see is how's the passing game clicking, and I think my biggest concern about what we saw yesterday is it's not clicking. Adrian can make up for a lot of these mistakes, but comes a point in time where Adrian needs help too, and clearly if he had played on Friday night, he wouldn't have gotten help. He would have had to do it all by himself again.
And you don't do much scheming when it goes into these games either. It's not like they were really scheming for the Buffalo Bills defensive line in this one.
Right.
And they did a lot of stunts and they did a lot of things to confuse the Vikings, and there were a lot of misreads. So, yeah, not to put this game in a vacuum, you kind of got to look at it and see, well, there were just some things where there wasn't the preparation you saw in the Vikings standpoint for protecting Christian Ponder. So I think AP would get a little bit more help in a real game because they would be scheming for the Buffalo Bills defensive line all week, having more tape of what they're going to do because that is a new system they have over there on defense.
What's your opinion of Les Frazier, who is rarely critical of his own players and our opponents, came out and basically said, well, we were surprised Buffalo did that much scheming. They can do what they want. We'll do what we want. But, you know, it's interesting because the thing in this league is vanilla, vanilla, vanilla in the preseason. Buffalo actually showed them something. I got to admit, if I'm Les Frazier, I'm almost happy Buffalo did it. Because now you can show these guys on tape, hey, yeah, we didn't game plan for these guys, but look how bad you looked at times. I mean, you can almost give them a really good example of this is what you look like against a defense that tried. Now go out there and play better.
Exactly, and if this doesn't light a fire under you, I don't know what does. And he says, Leslie Frazier says plenty of work gets done in practice, so we do a lot of work in there. We can't put too much weight into the games. Well, you play against the same defense week in and week out in practices. How much can you really learn about your system when you're not getting tested? This was a great test for an offense that wasn't clicking.
Defensively, we saw the first team as well, Jared Allen, Kevin Williams, guys who didn't play in week 1 of the preseason, got a chance to play. What did you see from this defense?
The defensive line looked to get after him, but they ran the ball a lot. Buffalo, that is, ran the ball a lot in that first quarter. Kevin Kopp threw 4 passes the entire time, so you didn't get to really see too much of the defensive line getting after him. It was just C.J. Spiller going on, and that's what we would see, obviously if AP were playing for the Vikings. So I didn't see much out of them, but they did get in there, get a few tackles for losses, and that's encouraging.
Jamarcus Sanford caught a football. There is a God. We have seen Jamarcus Sanford, and I like the guy. This is nothing personal. He's a good kid, but we have seen Jamarcus Sanford drop attempted interception after interception in Mankato. Xavier Rhodes makes a nice play. He almost could have jumped that route, by the way. Tips the ball up in the air. Jamarcus Sanford comes down with it. The Vikings did nothing with that drive. Blair Walsh missed a subsequent field goal attempt, but you do like to have to see them Vikings get a turnover because that's what they've been working on.
Definitely, it was good to see that actually carry over into a game. You see it in practice all the time, the defense flying around, going for interceptions, doing that. It was good to see that actually happen against Buffalo. And against, it was just Kevin Cobb. It's not like it was a great quarterback by any means. And Buffalo was doing everything they could to tailor back the passing game for him. So didn't see much, but what we saw out of the secondary was good. They were flying all over the ball. Josh Robinson got a tip pass as well. He was playing at the base corner and at the nickel corner. Saw more work than he saw in that first game where he only saw 6 snaps.
Does this lead us to believe that in week 1 we could see a base defense of Josh Robinson at the left corner, Chris Cook at the right corner? Xavier Rhodes, who I assumed would start at the base left corner, might actually be the guy that comes in at left corner when Josh Robinson kicks inside. Not to get very confusing there, which I just did, but that takes Xavier Rhodes from being a starter to being the guy who comes in the nickel. He just plays the outside.
Well, with the way they play the nickel, too, they play it a lot, so he might as well already be a starter. But you're right. They've been playing it this way in practice. Josh Robinson has been the second starting cornerback on the outside. He moves on the inside when they go into a nickel, which is half the time. So Xavier Rhodes will be on the field half the time as a starting corner.
Let's wrap this thing up with pleasant surprises. Who did you see? What did you see that you actually said, that's not bad?
Stephen Burton actually returned a kick for a touchdown, not a punt. He returned a kickoff for a touchdown. But Tyrone McKenzie's hold actually got that called back. Otherwise, it was clean. I don't even think Tyrone really needed a hold for him to break that one free. Bobby Felder also surprised. He returned a punt for 37 yards. He had 3 punt returns in total, which is good to see him get that work back there with Marcus Sherrills. And then he also downed 2 punts inside the 20. Been good on special teams. Saved Jeff Locke a couple of times.
And Jeff Locke got some work. Now, this is not good. You do not want your punter getting as much work as possible. It means your offense is failing. But with a rookie punter, I guess that's not a bad thing.
If you're going to give him that much work, do it in the preseason. Yep.
Last thing I'll tell you, too, this field goal thing, it's a little bit dicey. New holder makes me very, very nervous. New holders always make me nervous. All right, that's it. A wrap of the Buffalo Bills victory in a preseason game over the Vikings. He is Andrew Krammer. Read his work, 1500ESPN.com. He'll be back out here starting on Sunday, covering the practices, which have moved back to Winter Park. They're done in Mankato. So training camp officially is done, although the preseason has 2 games left. I'm Judd Zulgad, co-host of Judd and Dubé at 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. weekdays, 1500 ESPN. Thanks for watching our Vikings video at 1500ESPN.com, and check us out again soon.